Okay, so today we are going to learn about symbolism and theme through texts using Tar Beach by Faith Ringgold. So Faith Ringgold is an African American author, and she writes a lot of stories about African Americans. So through her stories, she expresses some different things that happened in history or that even happened in her life. Along with being an author, she illustrates her own books, and she is an artist, so she makes paintings, and some of those paintings are displayed in different museums. Okay? So before we get into actually looking at the symbolism and theme of her book, I want to talk about what symbolism and theme is, and then talk about some themes that we've seen this year through different texts that we've read. Okay? So, symbolism it is the use of symbols to represent ideas. And this will make a little bit more sense once I show you the different symbolism that Faith Ringgold uses in this specific book, and that you might see that she uses in other books that she's written also. Okay, along with symbolism, I said we were going to use the symbolism to identify what is the theme or the message that she is trying to portray through the text. Okay? So, theme is the message the author wants to express. So what are some messages from other texts that we've read? So think way back to the beginning of the year. And some of the messages that we talked about that were in other texts, or what was the reason maybe the author wrote. So let's think about the Lorax. What was the message that Dr. Seuss was trying to tell us? Jared?
Like, don't, like, destroy things that aren't well,
Good. Or take care of the
environment.
Good. What about a bad case of stripes? Jaden?
You just be yourself.
Good. Take care of the environment. Be yourself. There's also themes of unity, which means working together, bravery. So everything, what is the author's message or purpose through their text? And we can see that through symbolism. Okay? So we are going to start by reading Tar Beach. And this is a book by Faith Ringgold. So she already has symbolism right on the cover. So I'm going to show you some of the symbolism before we read it. Okay? So she is an illustrator, so she created this herself, and she actually makes quilts too to represent unity. So that's why you see this quilt pattern on the outside. So she makes quilts and puts a lot of these patterns in her other texts because it represents the unity of people's differences. Because when people make quilts, they take pieces of different things to put it together to make one thing. Along with the quilt, the title is Tar Beach, and where do you notice that they are? Pat?
A rooftop?
They're on a rooftop in a city. Are they at the beach? No. So this symbolism is that a beach is a place where people can escape and relax. So her beach, or her place to relax, is her rooftop. Because tar is what is on the top of roofs, and sometimes they use them for roads. So this is her beach, or her place to escape, okay, and relax. All right. So we're going to start reading Tar Beach. So I will always remember when the stars fell down around me and lifted me up above the George Washington Bridge. Now she's flying, and that is symbolism, but we're going to figure out what that symbolizes as we continue to read. So we can find symbolism by connecting images and the text to figure out what are they trying to express through her flying through the air. Because can people fly? No, so it's just a symbol to represent an idea. Okay? And she's flying over the George Washington Bridge.
Shay, would you be able to bring up an empty paper box to the office, please?
I could see her tiny rooftop with Mommy and Daddy and Mr. and Mrs. Honey, our next door neighbors, still playing cards as if nothing was going on. And Baby, my baby brother, lying real still on the mattress just like I told him to. His eyes are like huge floodlights tracking me through the sky. Sleeping on Tar Beach was magical. Lying on the roof in the night with stars and skyscraper buildings all around me made me feel rich, like I owned all that I could see. The bridge was my most prized possession. So, her symbolism of flying is that she's going to own everything she sees, and she's flying to be able to reach those things that she wants. Okay? Daddy said that the George Washington Bridge is the longest and most beautiful bridge in the world, and that it opened in 1931, on the very day I was born. Daddy worked on that bridge, hoisting cables. Since then, I've wanted that bridge to be mine. So, is his job safe or is it dangerous?
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Good, good. So he works very hard and he's risking his life to work. Okay, but people have to work because they have to be able to support their families, and that's what he's doing too. Now I've claimed it. All that I had to do was fly over it for it to be mine forever. I can wear it like a giant diamond necklace, or fly above it and marvel at its sparkling beauty. I can fly. Yes, fly. Me, Cassie Louise Lightfoot, only 8 years old and in the 3rd grade, and I can fly. That means I am free to go wherever I want for the rest of my life. So, that is where the text comes in to match up with the symbolism. Her flying is saying, I can fly and have whatever I want. But that connects to the idea that her flying is she's flying to be free, flying for freedom. Okay? So, her flying through the air is a symbol that she can fly to be free. Aaron?
Lightfoot, isn't that like, another, like,
Oh, yeah, it's just her last name.
another, like, like, another meaning for it.
Yeah.
It's like head.
Daddy took me to see the new Union building he was working on. He can walk on steel girders and high up in the sky and not fall. They call him the cat. So that's another symbolism. They're calling him a cat because he has really good balance. Have you guys ever seen a cat walk on anything really small? So good. But he still can't join the union because Grandpa wasn't a member. Well, Daddy is going to own that building because I'm going to fly over it and give it to him. So she's flying to freedom and flying and believing in herself to have what she wants. Then it won't matter that he's not in their old union or whatever, or whether he's colored or a half-breed Indian, like they say. What did you notice about the characters in Cassie's family? What did you notice about them? Harley? They were African American. Good. So now we're seeing the symbolism or the idea that he can't be in the union because of his background, because of his race and his skin color. They say that it's because her grandfather wasn't in the union or his dad, but it's really because they're basing it off of prejudice. They're saying that he can't be in because he's African American or part Indian. Good. And who remembers what a union was from social studies? Why would he want to be in the union? What do they do? Who remembers what the union does? Jaden?
It protects your job.
Good. Unions are there to back you up and protect and support your job. Okay? Good. Good job. So unions are a good thing, especially back then, to get into because he was doing really risky jobs and not always guaranteed a job. He'll be rich and won't have to stand on 24-story high girders and look down. He can look at his building going up. So that's another symbolism. If he's looking down at the ground working on the building, he's working on that building. But standing on the street looking up at the building, he's made it to the union. He doesn't have to do all the risky things that he did just to support his family. And Mommy won't cry all winter when he goes to look for work and doesn't come home. So there's not a lot of work, like labor jobs in the wintertime because of the weather. So, and then her mother gets upset because her father's not home because he has to either work far or he's out trying to find a job. So what I also noticed too is, are they a close family?
Yes.
Yeah, they're hanging out, relaxing together on their tar beach, and he's working to support his family. And Mommy can laugh and sleep in late like Mrs. Honey, and we can have ice cream every night for dessert. So her sleeping in late is a symbol, even though that's through the text, it's still symbolism that, well, if he had a union job, she would be able to relax and sleep in and not have to wake up and worry so much about everyone else. She could just sleep in and relax, and then they could eat all the ice cream they want, too, because they could afford it. Next, I'm going to fly over the ice cream factory, just to make sure we do. I can have ice cream every night. Tonight, we're going up to Tar Beach. Mommy is roasting peanuts and frying chicken, and Daddy will bring home a watermelon. Mr. and Mrs. Honey will bring their old green card table. And then the stars will fall around me, and I will fly to the Union Building. So that's saying everyone's going to come over. They're going to go on Tar Beach where they can escape, and she's going to relax and dream again and believe in her dreams and fly over and hope for a better life. Or not just a better life, but more freedom. I'll take BB with me. He has threatened to tell Mommy and Daddy if I leave him behind. I have told him it's very easy. Anyone can fly. All you need is somewhere to go that you can't get to any other way. The next thing you know, you're flying among the stars. And then this is a quilt created by Faith Ringgold, and it's based on this book. This quilt was actually made first. And then this is Faith. Okay. So, what we're going to discuss now is the different symbolism that we've seen through this, and then try to identify the theme that was through this text. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. Then we're just going to quickly look at another one of her books. We're not going to read it, but I'll let you look at the pictures, and I want you to try to see if you can identify the symbolism and maybe the theme of that text yourselves. Okay? All right. So what was one symbol that I had pointed out in this text? Some symbolism that Faith Ringgold used. Aaron?
Tar Beach.
Tar Beach. And that represents a place where they can go to relax, and that's her place to go and escape with her family. Good. Kyrie?
Flying.
Flying. Good. And what did flying symbolize? Hold on. 2 minutes. That's okay. What was she flying to? Hunter?
Freedom.
Freedom. Good. Flying. So she was flying to freedom. And any other symbols that we're seeing? Carly? The quilt. Good. So even though it wasn't in the story, it was still represented through the illustrations. And the quilt represents unity. Good. All right. Anything else? Alex?
The cat.
The cat. Oh, yes, that he was like a cat because he had really good balance. Good. All right. So now we want to use those symbolism and try to figure out what is the message the author is saying. They're escaping to a rooftop. Do you think they can just go to the beach whenever they want?
No.
No, they have to, even though they enjoy being up there, they have to settle to stay in their city on their rooftop, and they want to fly to freedom. And that the quilt represents unity of different people and their differences. So, the message that Faith Ringgold is expressing through Tar Beach is showing the message of discrimination, and prejudice. What was some big event that really happened in the book? Now, she wants freedom. She's flying to freedom. She doesn't have the freedom because of these things. What was one major part of the book that showed us that this was really a big theme? What was one event that happened? Greg?
The dad has to work high on a bridge every day.
Good. He has to work high on a bridge every day. What can't he be a part of? Everybody?
The union.
The union. Good. And then along with prejudice, the theme is to believe in your dreams. She's laying there relaxing and believing in herself and believing in her dreams. Good. So, what you're going to do now is I'm going to show you a few pictures of this book. So I want us to use the title and the pictures. You're going to think, pair, share. So whoever is the closest, not right this second, but you will. And you're going to grab a Post-it note. I'll hand you out the Post-it notes. The green Post-it note is any symbolism that you might see in this book. It might be really similar to Tar Beach, okay? And you can write down just notes of it, and then we'll discuss it. So you want to write down the symbolism you see, green Post-it, and you're going to put it up on this paper. Then your pink Post-it, you're going to identify what do you think the theme of this text is, okay? All right. And once you guys do that, we'll further read this book, okay? Okay, so this is called Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky. What do you notice about the characters already? Jaden? They're flying. See that symbolism? What else do you notice about the characters? Carly? Good, they're African American. And Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky, what does that relate to in something we already learned about in social studies? Abby? The Underground Railroad. Good. And who's Aunt Harriet? Mason? Harriet Tubman. Good. So you're making connections. So you're always using all the different reading strategies, but that's going to help you identify symbolism and theme. Okay. So I'll just show you the pictures, and you already identified one of them. So do you see they're not letting them breathe? Okay. So I want you to, on this page, what do you guys notice on this page? Angelina, what do you see? A quilt to represent her unity of people's differences. So even though she's representing unity through her quilts, there are still messages she's trying to portray. The Tar Beach is about her childhood. This is about a real historical event that, was there much unity with people's differences during the Underground Railroad times? No, there wasn't much unity. There was separate. People were separate. That's okay. People were separating because of their differences. Or some people were trying to help others, but the big idea was that people were different and they were pointing that out and discriminating against them, and that's not what they, the ultimate goal was not to do that. Okay, so I'm going to have you use this book. I'll leave it up there. And I'm going to hand out pink Post-its and green Post-its. So pink is the theme and green is symbolism, okay? So you're going to think, pair, share to the person next to you. Or here, yeah. And this is symbolism. So let's just start with what is a symbol that you can work with, Matt, Michael, and Jared. You can work with Alex. What is a symbol that you see already, just through the illustrations? Mason and Aaron work together. So this is symbolism. And then once you identify the symbolism and you write it down through Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky, you're going to stick it on our symbolism poster anywhere.
The symbol train in the sky.
Whatever, you can do a few. Here's a book right here. Yeah. No, partner. It's okay. Just discuss the symbolism.
Something in the book or on the cover?
Through the pictures. You can use inside the text too.
The flying train.
We'll further read the book, but I just want you to just look at the illustrations to identify the symbolism for now. All right, come on and stick up what you have.
You got it.
Whatever you think. It might be similar symbolism between her texts. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, now.
Let's break it.
All right, guys. Okay. So does every group have a pink Post-it?
Yes.
All right, before we write on the pink Post-it, I want to talk about some of the symbolism. So I see quilt up here a lot. What does the quilt symbolize or represent in her text from what you learned from Tar Beach and now that you've seen in Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky? Kyrie?
Like unity or differences and stuff.
Good. Unity, to come together no matter what the difference is. Good. All right, I see flying. What does flying represent? Jaden? Flying to freedom. Who didn't have freedom during the Underground Railroad times? Alma? Who didn't have freedom during those times? Who were the people trying to travel north? Slaves. So the African Americans that were slaves, they were trying to fly to freedom. Good. And good. Once you read actually in depth about that text, you'll see more symbolism shown throughout it. Good. All right, now the pink. What theme or message from unity, flying to freedom? What is the message that you think Faith Ringgold is trying to express through Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky? Go ahead and write that down. What do you think the theme is?
It's a sad time, story still going on.
Yep, once you're done, you can stick your Post-it right on the theme poster now with the pink writing. So remember, theme is the message. So like Tar Beach was discrimination or prejudice and believing in our dreams. So what is the message or what is shown in this book, just through the illustrations? You can further develop another theme once you read it, but what do you see through the illustrations?
People are trying to get us.
All right, guys, come on up and stick your Post-its with what you have.
I don't have anything.
Just write one word, one or two words.
No. I like some of them.
If you can hear me, put your hand on your nose. If you can hear me, touch your head.
Whatever you
If you
say.
can hear me, clap 3 times. All right. So some of the themes that I see. Oh, perfect. I saw one that I wanted to see, and I didn't really hear it. All right. I see discrimination and prejudice, or it's not right to judge people because of their skin color. Isn't that discrimination and prejudice?
Yes.
Isn't that a theme of this text? Who's being discriminated against if it's during the Underground Railroad? Abby? The African Americans. Perfect. Good. Another theme I see, trying to get out of slavery. So freedom, to be free is another theme. Great. Good. So you're going to use this lesson to help you identify symbolism and themes of Faith Ringgold's other texts. And once you read her other texts, you'll see connections of symbolisms that she uses throughout her texts and her ideas. All right. Good job for today.
Thanks.